Kaiba. Yes, it's me. You gonna say hi to the humans this morning? You weren't very active last night. You wanna say hi? Gonna say, hey humans, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kaiba the Pug. Just gonna stare at me like, what the heck, Daddy? Why you disturb my slumber? It's my morning nap. You've been napping on and off all morning though. Yeah, well, this is third nap. You know, like hobbits get second breakfast. I get third nap. Now let me nap. Oh, baby boy. Good morning, magic players and card collectors of all kinds. And of course, all you puggy lovers out there as well. Kaiba and I are back today to do our random Saturday video. I actually have a bunch of things I want to talk about today, and I have um a couple more videos I'm going to be posting throughout the day as well. Plus, we got the live stream tonight, so lots of stuff going on the channel today. I'm just going to slightly adjust this laptop so it focuses more on. Actually, no, I like it better the other way. You get my profile better from this side. Anyways, um, I just wanted to shout out first off, thank you to everybody who's been subscribing lately. We are up to 72 subscribers on the channel, which is amazing. I told Kaiba that this morning, before our morning WALK, and he was super pumped about the news. We went for an extra big one because of how excited he was, which was rough on Daddy because Daddy's legs are killing me this morning from the last couple of days of work, but I will manage. Like I say, lots to do today, some chores to do as well, on top of getting those videos out to you guys. And I gotta get over to the Dollarama to get some extra livers for the baby because he's down to the last few kicking around in the house. So can't have him going without his pick me ups. No, but those are his favorite treats, and I always want to make sure that I have at least one bag on stock because occasionally Dollarama runs out, and then I feel really guilty. So after I make this video, I'm gonna post it and then walk over there and grab those, and then I'm gonna get on to the laundry. Hooray for laundry day! All right. What do I have for you today? Well, originally my plan was to actually post the older video that I have still lingering around on my phone, and just get some stuff done. But I, like I say, had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about today. So, because of that, we're going to open something neat. Now, I have mentioned several times before on the channel that at a recent opportunity when Tista Minis was having a huge sale, I managed to pick up a bunch of pre-release kits, and I have two left. We're going to be opening the one today, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. But I do have the other one sitting here beside me, and I'm going to kind of spoiler alert you guys that in a few weeks we'll probably be opening the other one. But it won't be next week for sure, because next week we have the Commander Core Creator Challenge. Make sure that you are working on your decks, guys, if you are interested in that competition, the first one ever on the channel. Um, we are going to be getting our decks in soon for that, and I am going to be setting up a way for you guys to do that relatively soon, and we'll be announcing that shortly on the channel as well. But in the meantime, in between time, um, that is what is scheduled for next Saturday, is the big release of what our decks look like and who has the best one and discussions of things like that. In terms of prizing, I have a couple packs of different older magic that I'm thinking I might give out to the winner if we find a way to do that. I might wait for the next one though, just because this one didn't really get a lot of people participating in it first off, and second off, just didn't really have that set in place when we originally set up the competition. So this one might just be like props. The winner gets a lot of props for being the first person to ever win the challenge. We'll see. I'll figure out something. Sorry, I think I'm gonna sneeze. I'm just trying to avoid it. Nope. Oh, excuse me. Maybe someday I'll learn to edit all that stuff out, but probably not. Okay, to be fair, I probably could learn how to do it, but I just don't want to. I think it's more fun to leave that kind of stuff in. Seems more natural than all those people who have all the polished videos that look so shiny. Anyways, for today, we are going to be opening a Streets of New Capenna pre-release kit. Now, what's interesting about Streets of New Capenna, before I get into this, because this is something that I'm guessing, I don't know this for sure, but in the past, when there have been tricolor sets that had, well, not in the past, at the last tricolor set release, which was, of course, the Dragonstorm of Tarkir, um, each kit had a specific color pattern to it that you picked up. So, for example, I picked up the uh, green, white, and black kit because I was planning to build around my deck that I originally bought, which I ended up leaving as a precon because I just thought that precon was insanely good on its own. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because Streets of New Capenna is also a tricolor set, and I noticed this morning when I was looking at it that apparently there are tricolors on the back of this pack. We have blue, black, and red. So I'm going to assume, and I may make a butthole out of myself, and I apologize, you guys as well. But I'm going to assume that this kit is focused on these three colors the same way my pre-release kit for Dragonstorm was focused on the three colors I picked. Now, the reason I'm going to assume that is because the other pre-release kit I do have still kicking about is another Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Um, at some point, we are going to try and pull for a second copy of the Cavern of Lost Souls, I think that's what it's called. The really cool land that taps for multiple different colors based on whatever creature type you're playing. Um, I do hope to get a second copy of that for one of my five color decks, which would be really cool. But that is not what we're going to open today. I'm saving that for another day. I get some Jurassic Park stuff another day too. Who knows? But for today, we're going to open this one. But I was just showing you that one because that one, as you see, has no colors on it. It doesn't show a pattern. So I think this is definitely defining that this kit is this way, which I didn't realize when I bought it. Um, that being said, the original deck that I bought for Streets of New Capenna, the only commander deck that I bought at that time, and I think the only one I still own to this day, I don't think I've bought any of the other ones from New Capenna, happened to be the commander deck that was blue, black, red, because I thought the vampire on it looked really cool. I ended up not making him the commander of that deck, and I ended up building a really cool deck around that, which I may preview as the Super Deck Sunday deck. That might actually be a really good idea. Keep it on theme. I think I will do that. That'll be the Super Deck Sunday deck that I show you guys this week. So, but for today, let's crack this kit and see what we get. I wonder if the different, in Dragonstorm, I don't think you got different dice, but I think maybe you might get some different dice here. Who knows? The artwork in the kit is really plain. The artwork on the outside of the kit's kind of nice with the cityscape. I do like that. I'm not usually a big fan of cities, don't get me wrong. I live in a city and I hate it. But I kind of like the artwork on the outside, but the artwork on the inside is so boring. What's the artwork on the inside of the box look like? Not really that good either. It's just like a love seat in a room with some artwork on the wall. It's kind of bland. It's disappointing. Ooh, he's kind of creepy though. That's a neat thing to put on the back of the kit, at least. All right, crack this open. We got our die. Pretty cool new Capenna symbol on there. I do like the color of the dice, at least. It is a really neat color pattern of green and blue going on there. Okay, so that's going to be, yep, I was right. So we do have a specific pack that is red, blue, and black. We're going to save that for later. We got that as well. Ooh, we got an arena code. Okay. So our kit is the Elite Assassins kit, which is cool. I like assassins. The Maestros are old money vampires who love the finer things in life and are willing to kill to get to them. Willing to kill to get them. They maintain a public front as an upstanding organization of art aficionados with a goal of preserving the art and culture of old Capenna. Beneath this polished veneer, they are a shadowy organization of elite assassins focused on maintaining power, influence, and wealth. Cool. And then this just explains how to do a pre-release kit, of course. You know what I'm going to do? The person who wins the Commander Core Challenge, I'm going to give them a bunch of arena codes. That's what I'm going to do this month. So there's still 1 week left to jump into the Commander Core Challenge. If you missed the video that I played at put out at the start of the month, we are building around Molimo, the one commander guy the green commander who gets power and toughness equal to the amount of lands you control and has trample. Um, I am looking forward to seeing how many people build decks and what those decks look like. But for now, I'm just going to say that I've got mine built, and I know Snoop has his built. So at least we've got a couple people playing. Hopefully, we get some more. But if you guys are interested in arena codes, I've got one right here, and I've got a dozen more upstairs. I will give out a bunch of random arena codes. Let's say 4 codes out of the 12 that I have right now to the winner of the thing if they play arena. If they don't play arena, I will get a couple packs and throw them that way or something like that probably. Um we'll see what we do. We'll figure it out. We'll discuss it. But I think I'll do arena codes this month or props. Because, like I said, I want to make sure that we get a safe space going where we can actually share addresses before I start trying to give out people packs through the mail. Especially with Canada Post going on strike in the near future, potentially again. All right, so we've got ourselves 5 packs of New Capenna, and we've got that special pack over here, which I assume contains our promo card, hopefully at the front, but maybe it's buried in there. We'll see. It also seems to have some tokens on the back, which is kind of neat. We got an Ogre Warrior on the back, 4/3. He looks pretty badass. Things that are going on the channel. Don't forget tonight we have a live stream, 7:30. Um, ooh, are they all going to have things like that? That's kind of neat. I like the. I know that's an advertisement card. Don't get me wrong, but I like the guy on the back goes with the kit, which is nice. I wonder if every packet's gonna have one of those. And a treasure token, which is nice. Always good to have extra treasures because you use those insane amount in Magic the Gathering. All right, our first pack. Attended Socialite. 1 and a green for a 2/1 with Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, this thing gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Unless you're playing a ton of tokens or something. So I'm going to put it mid. Fake Your Own Death, I kind of like. Get +2/+0 until end of turn. Creature dies, it returns to the battlefield tapped, and you get a treasure token out of it. Pretty good if you can play it at the right time. Disdainful Stroke, counter target spell with mana value 4 or greater. It's a little difficult to pull off sometimes, but it is cheap, so I mean, I think it's worth putting top. Rafine's Guidance. One white, enchant creature, enchanted creature gets +1/+1. You may cast Rafine's Guidance from your graveyard by paying 2 and a white rather than paying its mana cost. That's pretty neat. It doesn't give you much, but I mean, in a deck where auras matter, that is just an extra aura you can throw on, so that's pretty good. Sticky Fingers. One red, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, make a treasure token. Nice. When an enchanted creature dies, draw a card. That is sick. That's definitely going top. Civic Gardener. When in a green 2/2, when this thing attacks, untap target creature or land? Yeah, okay. Could go in my green deck that I was just talking about. Cabaret Courtyard. Enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic mountain, forest, or plains, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and you gain a life. Nice. First land, and it's a pretty good one. I do like those sacrifice lands in this set in particular because although they only search for one of three things in particular, they give you a life and they put that land into play tapped. So in a deck where landfall matters, for example, you gain two landfall triggers out of that in a turn, which is pretty nice. So, and you don't have to like pay anything to sacrifice it, which is also a bonus. Go Inspector, 3 and a blue, 2/3 when it flying, and when it enters the battlefield, it connives. We do like conniving. We get this one often in Dollarama Draws of Destiny, which is good. But it's always nice to have an extra one. Flying is always nice. We got a Maestro's Theater too. This is the one that I have a bunch of copies of, to be honest. I don't have a lot of copies of any of the other ones, so getting Courtyard was nice, but I'm not going to complain about having a Maestro's Theater. Ooh, Broker's Charm. In a really nice full art. Not hollow though, but still. Instant, choose one. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Or destroy target enchantment. Or draw two cards. For green, white, and blue, that's not bad. The only downside is, again, when you get these specific three color things, you have to play three color things. Or four color or five color. And most people try to stick to two color commanders, I find. Just because there's more options with that. But I like this. I'll still put it top. And I will put Suspicious Bookcase up top too, because I love having extra copies of this thing. This is basically a Rogue's Passage for one cheaper, and it also counts as a creature. So I love having that on board. Cleanup Crew, 4 and 2 green for a 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. Destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or oh, nope, there's four options. Exile a target card from a graveyard, or gain 4 life. It's too bad you don't get to pick two. If you got to pick two, I'd put this top, but I'm going to put it mid because you only get to pick one. Ooh, Hostile Takeover. We pulled this the other day, and I was pretty happy to have an extra copy of it. I didn't need a second extra copy of it because I don't have a lot of red, blue, black decks currently. But I mean, I'm not going to complain too much because I do love the artwork on this one. Ooh, train's going through. I wonder if you guys can hear that in the background. The train tracks are like 2 city blocks from my house, roughly, but Devil's Valet? Devilish Valet, sorry. 2 and a red for 1/3 trample haste. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double this thing's power until end of turn. Hmm. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I like that a lot. Ooh, and a full mountain. Pretty. I like this skyscraper. Very nice. Very nice. So, what else is all going on the channel? Holy moly, lots of stuff, lots of stuff. Gotta take a drink of water though first. For the record, I wanted to show you guys I don't always just drink Coke. I don't want to seem like I'm the most unhealthy streamer out there. slash content creator out there. I just tend to drink a lot more Coke because it helps me stay awake. I do not drink coffee. I hate the taste of coffee. Um, I might get the occasional ice cap just because I like it when it's colder. But whenever coffee is warm, it just tastes like mud. Any type of coffee, cafe, espresso, whatever. I hate the taste of all of it hot. I'm not even really a big fan of hot chocolate hot unless it's like really cold out. All right, pack number two. What have you got for me, buddy? Oh, first, I forgot about the token. We got a fish. Nice. I always need more of these because fish that can't be blocked are hard to come by as tokens. You can find a lot of the regular fish, but these ones are difficult to get. And I use them in my one mutation deck, which is pretty good. So nice to have extra ones. Boon of Safety. Put a shield counter on target creature and then scry one. I do love shield counters because if it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove the shield counter from it instead. I mean, the dealt damage part kind of sucks because if it would just get hit by like a 1/1 and it's like a 7/7, you're still losing the shield counter. But on the other hand, it can't be wiped out by like a board wipe or anything like that as long as the shield counter remains on it, which is pretty nice. I'm going to put that up there because it's an instant. Goldhound, on the other hand, I'm going to put to the middle probably. One red for a first strike menace and tap it sacrifice to add one mana of any color. I don't like the idea of having to sacrifice it. Otherwise, that would be really good. Social climber, two and a green. Whenever another creature. We already. Oh no, wait, we didn't get this one. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. That one I actually like a lot. That one goes up. Murder goes up too. Destroy target creatures, just a classic 1 and 2 black for an instant. Can't go wrong there. Majestic Metamorphosis is an okay card. Until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes a 4/4 angel artifact creature and gains flying and draw a card. It's reasonable. I did run it in my blue deck for a while, but ultimately it got cut for better things. But I'll still put it top. As that can actually save a creature in theory, if it's only like a 2/2 and it's getting wiped out by a 3/3, for example. Two and a white for a 3/1. When Gathering Throng enters the battlefield, you can search your library for any number of cards named Gathering Throng, reveal the. Yeah, there's our first bottom of the day. Because I'm not playing this as a standard, I'm playing for Commander. I am happy to get an extra copy of him, though. I don't have a lot of copies of him, and he's fun. Body Dropper is one red, one black for a 2/2. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on him, and you pay the same cost of him to sacrifice another creature, and he gets menace until end of turn. So, plus he's got some really cool artwork. And kill count, I lost track years ago. I mean, that's just perfect flavor. So that definitely is top. Ooh, Skybridge Towers. Enters the battlefield tapped, add white or black, pay two white and or sorry, add white or blue. Pay two white and blue, tap, sacrifice, draw a card. I'll take it. That one is less fun. Um, although it is a kitty, which is good. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls can't attack or block until your next turn. But this is one of those ones that you can exile and make land become able to tap for one of three colors as long as this remains exiled. That is really the better benefit of having this card is the idea that you can make your lands become filter lands essentially by exiling this. But I still don't like the fact that you have to, of course, play it in a tricolor deck minimum, so I'm going to put it mid. Inspiring Overseer. Two and a white, 2/1 flying. When it enters battlefield, you gain a life and draw a card. Yeah, okay. And it's an angel. I just built an angel's deck, so I could probably get that in there somehow, somewhere. Look at top 5 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life, or this thing deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. It's not a bad instant. I have a couple copies of it already, though, so I'll put it mid. Offer You Can't Refuse, on the other hand, is definitely going top. It is amazing to have pulled an extra copy of this, because these are freaking hard to come by. Privateer's Requisitioner, one in a red. When it dies, create a treasure token, and it has Blitz. I have this in my sacrifice deck, I believe. It is a pretty good one. Extraction Specialist. I don't think I've ever pulled this one. 2 and a white for 3/2 with lifelink, and when it enters the battlefield, return target creature with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It can't attack or block as long as you control this thing, though. Well, why do I want to return it to the battlefield? Huh. Weird. Mid. And a mountain that's less fun from comparison to the first one. Alright. So today I also have a couple of videos coming out with regards to Kaiba stuff. Kaiba has a mini announcement video that I will be putting out after this one, probably when I get back from the Dollarama, and when I get it edited properly. And that'll be a short one. And then I have a longer one for you guys coming up later today too. So lots of content with regards to Kaiba because I know a lot of people who have joined recently are coming in based on the fun little short that we put out about Kaiba and the Suspicious Pinwheel. First off, thank you guys for hitting up that with so many likes and so many views. I mean, that is by far the most viewed video on this channel, which I think is really funny. But I also think is awesome because anything that gets Kaiba excited is great, and he was super pumped when I told him that he is the one who is getting our channel over right now. So kudos to Kaiba for doing a great job. He deserves his little naps and the treats that I have to go get him. Um, I don't want to spoil the announcement that's coming out later, but let's just say that there is going to be one for sure, and it's big news for our channel and big news for our community. It's about something I've been talking about for a while, but Kaiba is the one who wants to break that news, so that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Um, Depending on what I pull here today, I might have to edit that deck that I'm going to present to you guys tomorrow a little bit more. Ooh, the Riveteers. I like that one. Always finish the job. Huh. I wonder if I should have tried to get that commander deck. I didn't see that one. Green, red, black. Ooh, another treasure token. And I like that one actually better than the first one. The good one's nice, don't get me wrong, but that one's cute. Get you guys a little bit closer view of that one again. Like, I think that one's probably the better one of the treasure tokens that I've seen in this set so far, at least. Antagonize. One in a red, target creature gets +4/+3 until end of turn. Instant speed? Hell yes. Prize fight. One in a green, instant. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, and you create a treasure token. I'm not a huge fan of fights in terms of the mechanic because you can't really swing with the creature that you fought with that turn, per se, a lot of the time. But the treasure token gets it over. Demons do 3 in a black, scry 2, draw 2, lose 2 life. Yeah, okay. I'll put that top 2. Expendable Lackey. 1 in a blue, 1/1, pay 1 in a blue, exile this thing from your graveyard, create a blue fish creature token that can't be blocked. Yeah, I'm gonna mid you. Vote of Safety. I think we put that top the first time, so we'll put it top again. Cabaret Initiate. 1 green for a 1/2 with 2 and red or white. It gains double strike until end turn. So this is one of those ones that you're only going to be able to play in a 3-color deck. And it's a 1/2, so really, do you want to pay all that to give it double strike? I'm going to put you bottom. Rooftop Nuisance. 2 in a blue, casualty 1. So you can sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater and copy this spell as you play it. Tap target creature, it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, and you get to draw a card. I'm going to mid that. Typically blue isn't a huge fan of sacrificing stuff unless it's paired with black or something, but the idea that you could tap 2 potential threats and they don't untap on that person's next turn, essentially, unless they have a way to do it mid-turn, plus you get to draw 2 cards, pretty decent exchange. Sorcery speed is what's going to keep it in the mid, though. Skycrier, 1 and a white. Flying lifelink, pay 3 and a white. You and target opponent each draw a card. Ooh, that's pretty good. And it's a bird. Alright, you get to go top. I'm not sure what deck that's going to go in. It might go into... Like, I mean, that's perfect for Bumbleflower, but Bumbleflower is so freaking well refined. I'm getting really, really tempted to just go out and buy another Bumbleflower deck and just start building a second one. It's going to have the exact same sort of motivations and stuff, but it'll have completely different extra cards added in. Like, I want to... If I do it, the reason I would do it is because I want to include things like the Council of Four that I pulled recently, to include Skycrier and other stuff like that, where I'll just focus more on the drawing and less on the combat stuff. With regards to the second deck, because the first deck I kind of made it into like a super major Voltron deck where the bunny just goes swinging like mad and leads a whole bunch of furry flying things into battle. Paragon of Modernity. 4 for a 2/2 flying angel warrior artifact creature. And pay 3, it gets +1/+1 into end of turn. If exactly 3 colors were spent on this to activate the ability, put a +1/+1 counter on it instead. Not going to happen in my mono white deck, obviously, so I'm going to mid that. Because that's the deck I would want to put it in. Cement Shoes is an interesting artifact. You give the equipped creature +3/+3, but at the beginning of your end step, you have to tap it. And it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So essentially, unless you have a way to untap it in the middle of your turn, this is one of those ones you want to put more onto somebody else's thing and hope like heck they don't have a way to untap it. But it just boosts the crap out of the power and toughness of the creature, so interesting card. No legendaries so far, eh? That's an interesting thing too. Metropolis Angel. 2 white and blue for a 3/1. Flying. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures with counters on them, draw a card. Okay, that's not terrible. It's definitely playable. Knockout Blow. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it mid because of the 1 toughness. Always terrible to have such low toughness. Knockout Blow. 2 and a white. Instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a red creature. Deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. You gain 2 life. I like the fact that it hits red in particular hard, but 3 for doing 4 damage. Alright, you know what? I'll still put it up. Ooh, I think we just hit something good, guys. Ho, I'm not sure though, but full art first off. Second off, Plant Dinosaur. That's always fun. 1 and 2 green for 4/4 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And this thing can't block or attack unless you have 7 more lands. Okay, so it definitely has a slight handicap in terms of that it needs a bunch of lands in play. But it's a cheap one to get out. It has Vigilance, and it gets you a land at least. So I'm still going to put it top. The full art definitely is what's winning me over. That is definitely a hit for us today, at least. If nothing else, if we get no legendaries, at least we got one hit that's probably worth a little bit of money, maybe? Maybe? I know this set's worth a lot lower than most other sets. I mainly pulled this because I was hoping to get those more of those tri-lands that we've talked about before. But if I don't, I don't. Or a cool commander. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a black permanent. Bouncer's Beatdown, deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. If that creature or planeswalker would die, you exile it. Alright. And an island. 2 packs left to go. Kaiba's still chilling over there. He knows I'm going away soon. He's not happy about that. But it's the only time I'm going to go away this weekend without you. I promise. And it's for your benefit. Mine a little bit, but mostly yours. Now he does need a couple things from the Dollarama too, but nothing super huge compared to what you need. Because if you don't have yours, you will be very sad. 3-3 Flying Angel. I don't know very many things that make 3-3 Flying Angels, to be perfectly honest. I always thought those were a weird token. They're like a very specific one, like so many others, but I like the angels that are 4-4 Flying Vigilance, because those just come up constantly in the game. Witness Protection. 1 blue enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities, is a green and white citizen with base power toughness 1-1 named Legitimate Business Person. I think that's just a hilarious aura, and it's going to go top mainly for flavor. Hold for ransom, unlike that though, 1 in a white, enchanted creature can attack or block and has pace 7. Hold for ransom's controller has to sacrifice it and draw a card. So basically, as long as this remains in play, that person can't do anything with their creature unless they pay 7 to get rid of it or pay for another spell that eliminates it from the field. I'm going to admit it, because chances are you're not going to get that card. Antagonize goes back to the top. Cries Fight goes back to the top. Demons Do back to the top. Halo Scarab. 2 for a 2-1 insect. Pay 2, exile it from your graveyard, create a treasure token. Meh. Cabaret Courtyard. Yay! Girder Goons. That's a new one for me. 4 and a black, 4-4. When it dies, create a tapped 2-2 black rogue creature token. And it has Blitz 3 and a black. It's not terrible. Not great. Not terrible. We got a Courtyard and a Maestro's Theater again in the same pack. That's 2 times in this video. That's funny. Quinky Dinks? I think so. 3 and a green for a 4-4 Elf Druid. Elegant Entourage has. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield in your control, this target target creature other than this thing gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. Now that's more interesting. That can go top. Raffine's Silencer. 2 and a black. 1-1 Human Assassin. When it enters the battlefield, it can knives. Okay. When it dies, target a creature an opponent controls gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is this thing's power. Okay. Yeah, alright. I'll put you top. Glittering Stockpile. That's a new one for me. 2 and a red. Artifact Treasure. Tap, add red. Put a stash counter on this thing. Tap, sacrifice this thing. Add X mana of any one color where X is the number of stash counters on it. I like that a lot. That's going top for sure. Endless Detour. Target owner. The owner of target spell, non-land permanent, or card in a graveyard puts it on top or bottom of their library at instant speed. Okay. I like Dig Up the Body better, personally. Casualty 1, mill 2 cards, and you may return a creature from your graveyard to the top to your hand. If you do the casualty, you'll get 2 creatures. Mill 4 cards. Ooh, Full Art Island is nice. That's pretty. Still recording. Good, good, good. One more pack, and then we got the special pack there. So much to do today. Ogre Warrior token, hooray! We got another one right there, though. Riveteer's Initiate. 1 in a red, 2-2, gains Death Touch until end of turn if you pay green or black. It's going mid because of the 3-color annoyance. High Rise Skyjack, 2 in a green. Reach 2-3. Whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it's +2/+0 until end of turn, becomes a 4-3. It's decent. I'll put it top just because green needs reach. So, yeah. Join the Maestros. 4 and a black for Casualty 2 and create a 4-3 black Ogre Warrior creature token. Probably not going to do that much. Obscura Initiate. 2 and a blue for a 2-2 flying. 1 and a white or black gains lifelink until end of turn. By your silence, 4 and a white. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller gets a treasure token. Sorcery speed, I'm putting it mid. If it was instant speed, it would go top. Jackhammer. +2/+0, equip 2, 1 in a red to put into play. Okay. Ooh, Glamorous Outlaw. 3 blue, black, red. When it enters a battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each opponent you scry to. And then it has the whole exile it and make a land thing. But you have to exile it from your hand. So the thing that sucks is you can't put this into play, exile it, then put it back into play, exile it, etc., etc., which would be really neat, but that would also be broken as messed, so I get it. But I'm still going to put that top because I'm pretty happy with that pull. Nice land, Racer's Ring. I think I have the full art, a bunch of copies, but I actually like this version of the artwork better. The full art kind of looks cheesy. This one looks pretty nice. That's a good pull. Security bypass is fun. Enchanted creature, as long as it's attacking alone, can't be blocked. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it connives. Plus, it only costs 1 in a blue to put into play. Perfect. This I have way too many copies of, and I don't put it in anything ever, so disappointing pull, to be honest. Yeah, you get 3 life when it comes into play, but it costs 7 to put into play first off for 4/4 with flying, and 3 of those have to be different colors. And it does the whole exiling land thing. I'm going to put you mid. We got a legendary! Nice! At least we capped it off with a legendary at the end here. Cormella Glamour Thief. Haste, taps, pay 1 and tap her to give black, blue, red, but you can only use it on instant and sorcery spells. And when she dies, you return up to 1 target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty good. Could be a fun thing to build a commander deck around at some point. Ooh, Brass Knuckles is a good one to pull too. When you cast it, you copy it, and it has equip 1, so you get 2 copies of equip 1, and equip creature has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to it. So essentially, basically, you're going to get Brass Knuckles to both copies of Brass Knuckles to the same creature, and that creature is going to have double strike. Exotic Pets, nice. I only had 1 copy of this. This is a great card because it lets you make fish that can't be blocked. I only had like I say 1 copy of this before, so I'm happy to have a second one now. Evolving Door, 2 and a green for an artifact that has pay 1, tap, sacrifice a creature, count the colors in the sacrifice creature, then search your library for a creature that's exactly that many colors plus 1. Exile that card, then shuffle, then you can cast the exile card. Okay. And a plains. Alright. Not a terrible kit, not bad. We definitely got a bunch of playable stuff. The downside is I pulled a lot of stuff from this set when I first started playing again. Because even though Lord of the Rings is what brought me in, Streets of New Capenna just happens to be what that boutique the fans had a bunch of. So I got a bunch of blister packs and stuff like that for this set. So a lot of these things I've pulled before. Not complaining, just saying. Is the promo at the front? No, the promo's not at the front. Okay. I just wanted to make sure the promo wasn't at the front before I started this. I don't actually see the promo in there, so it might be in the back of this somewhere. Glamorous Outlaw? We already seen her in her full art form. She's much better in her full art form, to be honest, than that. A Maestro's Theater. Tramway Station. I'm not a huge fan of that one, to be honest. I've just never liked the artwork on that one. It's not my favorite. Even the full art version of it, I'm just not a fan of, but it's not like it's a terrible card. Another Body Dropper is nice. Crooked Custodian is okay. Not my favorite because he enters tapped. Cutthroat Contender, 1 black for a 1/1, pay 1 life. This thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn, but you can only do it once per turn. Well, then that makes you mid. Maestro's Initiate, 2 and a black for a 3/1, pay 4 blue red. Exile this thing from your graveyard, draw 2 cards, and discard card. The Angel that we pulled earlier, Murder, Rooftop Nuisance, Little Chat, Casualty 1, 1 blue for instant. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, the other in the bottom of your library. That's not bad. Involuntary Employment is always a fun one to pull an extra copy of. And we got an extra Cormella. That's funny. Well, I know one deck that I'm putting her in. I don't know what other deck I'm going to put her in, though, because I don't have a lot of other decks that just play those three colors specifically. Reservoir Kraken looks cool. 2 and 2 blue for 6/6. Trample Ward 2 at the beginning of each combat if this thing is untapped. Any opponent may tap an untapped creature they control. If they do, tap this thing and create a blue fish creature token that can't be blocked. That is totally going in my mono blue deck at some point in the near future when I edit it. And that is an amazing pull. And is that our promo? Yeah, that's our promo. Sanguine Spy, 2 and a black, 2/3 Menace Lifelink. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature, look at the top card of your library. You can put that card in your graveyard. At the beginning and end step, if there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard, you may pay 2 life if you do draw a card. You know what? As far as promos go, that's not bad. I mean, at least it's a rare, which is a good start. I would have preferred, of course, as everybody would have, a mythic, but I'll take a rare. It has a lot of neat abilities. Definitely would work well in some sort of deck that focuses on sacrificing stuff. I don't know whether I want to put that in my vampire deck or if I want to put that in my uh red black sacrifice deck though. I think I want to put that in my mono black deck that I just built, which also does a bunch of sacrificing stuff too, but I don't think that I want it in that one necessarily. I think I want it in, yeah, probably going to go with my vampires deck somehow, some way. I don't know what I'll take out, but I'll probably take out something that does sacrificing stuff already and just doesn't give me as much value as that one does. All right, this has been our random Saturday video. I'm just going to bring that in a little closer because that is definitely the hit of the day. So we want to make sure that you guys can see that as I go off before I switch the camera over to Kaiba. As I say, please tune in tonight to the live stream. Please make sure that you check out the Kaiba videos that are coming out later today, especially that special announcement that will be coming out. I'm gonna say probably noonish, maybe one-ish, depending on whether I want to cook first or edit videos first. All right. In the meantime, in between time, thank you for tuning into this one. And from Kaiba over there, and much love to you all. Uh, we hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care, and see you in the next one.